Hello, everyone. I just wanted to do kind of a quick update about me and my life and what's going on in it in my pursuit of furthering my whack skill levels. So, for those who don't know, I recently started working at kind of a regional Midwestern bank, and it's going okay. The job's very easy. I just migrated to work from home, so now all my lovely coworkers get to see the exact same point of view that you all had a chance to get used to. I just kind of wanted to bring everybody up to speed on what's been going on. So, I've been working this job. It's been pretty easy. I really fell off the fitness horse in January, which sucked because my main goal was to get through the initial 120-day introductory period at my job without falling off the gym wagon, so that when I moved to work from home, it'd be much easier to just continue it, kind of like a personal goal thing. Then I spent 3 out of 4 weeks of January sick, and that really put a damper on things. And got into February and was dealing with getting over the rusted in place feeling of being out of the gym for so long. Uh, Back to it now. I just got back from War of the Iron Fist, which I'll talk about in just a moment, and have been going back to the gym regularly, which is good because I feel like it's very frustrating for my body to give out before my energy levels or my desire to fight does. At War of the Iron Fist, it was elbow problems. I just got done sparring about an hour ago, doing some midweek sparring, and also had to struggle with some elbow problems there. And I'm getting older, but I'm pretty sure this is more of just like a strength and conditioning problem than anything else. Just need to continue trying to eat a little bit better, be a little bit more active in my day to day life. Basically, don't make foam fighting the only physical thing that I'm doing on a weekly basis. And I think that'll definitely help a lot of those problems. Probably need to look into like some physical therapy stuff I can just do for my elbows in general. I know a few physical therapy exercises for like some very specific shoulder problems and elbow problems that I've had in the past, but I'm not sure about things legitimately for generic, just kind of like tennis elbow. So maybe I'll use that insurance thing that I pay money for and go get it checked out, get a primer on how to deal with that. Moving on from there, I just came back from the Daggahir event, War of the Iron Fist, out at Lake Wister here in Oklahoma, about 2 hours south of Tulsa, where I live, and it was good. I wish I'd been able to fight a little bit more, but with how overweight I am, impacting my cardio, it makes it. I kind of have to pick and choose my battles, and also just the fact that I never know what kind of physical problem is going to crop up. This time it was my elbow, and so it sucked, but I was able to fight a little bit. Fought in like one field battle where like I really got a chance to realize that the texture of Midwestern like Dag and Bell foam fighting is really changing, and it may be a national thing, but there's some trends going around that are making it increasingly harder to be just a simple shieldman on the field, and they may have always been there. This could just be a perception thing. I was probably a lot fitter in the past. I didn't have a problem with being as mobile as I needed to overcome the issues of just like, man, there are a lot of reds nowadays. A lot of reds, a lot of shoulder shields, a lot of armored red fighters with shoulder shields, which as a board fighter is very difficult to deal with. I will loop back to that in a moment. But other than that, it was good. I had a chance to get some pretty good quality sparring in. Some people I never fought before. And then, really, kind of my fighting highlight for the event was being in a four-man winner losers rotation with Glenn, a fighter out of OKC named Jinon, who is already quite good and still getting much, much, much better, and another rando who was good, very good. I can't remember what his name was. And I've done whole videos on how I think you should go about beating Glenn in response to a request for it, or just really just a response to somebody being frustrated by it. And I was shocked when my regular bread and butter anti-lefty shots worked pretty good against Glenn. Um, I wish I had it on video so I could review the stats, but for a brief moment in time, I had a 100% win record against Glenn, which was kind of a wild thing. Like, I kind of wanted to walk off the field and be like, oh, that's it, never fighting that really good fighter again. But yeah, I want to say between like in that winner losers little pile we were doing, came away with a more winning than losing score, which is very good, kind of what I was hoping for. got a chance to see some other folks who I'd, reviewed on the YouTube channel and speak with them, kind of talk about some possible further plans. But it was fun. I was only there for Friday night and Saturday night. Friday night was pretty laid back. Saturday, it was kind of a small event. I want to say that, field totals may have been like 60 to 80 fighters on the field. But it was a good way to, kind of ease back into what is going to be a very event heavy year for me. Talking about that, well, first let's kind of go over to this next, like the video idea that I was talking about, and looping back to that earlier topic of the armored shoulder shield wearing red fighters. I think it would be fun to kind of like make a project of deep diving that fighting style from the perspective of just a simple sword and board fighter and seeing how you might be able to fight it. I think it is definitely one of the worst matchups you're going to have when it comes to like melee combat. Obviously, the big evil issue is always archers. They're always, kill them. But when it comes as just a like sword and board fighter on the field, what is the worst thing that you'd come across? Probably a red fighter who is fighting with their shoulder shield on their right arm, meaning that they're crossed over on their left side, so that their weapon is projecting into your striking lane. If you're a righty, it's projecting into that right-handed striking lane. And that shield is normally mounted quite high on the shoulder, meaning it's hard to get over the top of them. It kind of forces you into only having one lane to exchange in, and inside that lane is the red fighter's weapons, their hands, their big dorky gloves, and good luck throwing single-handed stabs because they're probably wearing chest armor also. So I'm interested to try to crack that. I feel like my monkey brain wants to immediately default to just excessive amounts of violence, where like maybe you just use the two shots to your shield as a moment to close aggressively and then just grapple the person, because they're going to be a lot of times they're so scrunched over and hidden up behind their shields, you may have a chance to come down onto them. Obviously, if they're charging you, you want to be the lower person. But if you're just kind of like statically, in front of each other, it may be better for you to like, if you're able to get in close, kind of just bring them down into the ground and take the fight from there. That's probably not the most efficient solution, but I'm going to try to loop in some red fighters in the area and just some red fighters online and kind of talk about it. And then we may do a probably at least one, probably more follow-up videos kind of talking about that, trying to fix that. Because so many of those fighters were out, combined with all of the 8-foot glaives that you see, things like that, along with like 8 to 10 foot spears. That's hard out there for a pimp if you're just a guy like I took my longest blade out there. I had a 41-inch sword that I was using, and it was rough. So kind of investigate some ways. Again, I think that my brain defaults to just like, we'll just get in better shape, become more mobile, and just try to like beat him with hyper violence. But yeah, so that's kind of an idea of something I wanted to go over. I also have some things planned for when I hit 50 reviews on the channel, but we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. Talking about my event schedule for the year and opportunities for you to come fight the guy who just judges you on the internet endlessly. I'm going to be at every single event at that Lake Wister campground. And so I believe there's going to be another DAG event there. This is War of the Iron Fist. I think Gates of Summer will also be there, as well as all of the Emerald Hill Amtgard kingdoms. They have their XYZ reigns there. So I plan on attending those as well. Would love to see a lot of new faces, fight a lot of new people. I'm going to try to continue developing a body that will allow me to do more of that. But yeah, so those are kind of like the small potates, just because they're 2 hours from my house. Not to say anything about the events being small or lame. It's just very little investment for me to actually go to those events. What I'm really shooting for this year is SKBC in April, and then Winter War, I believe, in November are going to be the two big ones. Always wanted to go to an SKBC, never had a chance to. Vegas is actually the closest it's ever been to my location. I think it's like an 18-hour drive still, so that's going to be a process. But I'm going to try to really grind this year and break the probably like 5 to 8 year plateau I've been on. Just it's a very broad plateau, but I feel like I kind of peaked in fighting skill in my early to mid 20s and then really slumped off after that. Probably like actually maybe like 26, 27, somewhere in there. I would like to become better than that, and I know that I have the skill set for it, and I have the opportunities for it, and I can build the body for it. It's just going to take time and discipline, and that is the hardest parts as always. But that's all I got. I know that I tend to make really long videos. I'm going to go ahead and cut this one short here. But yeah, I hope to see you guys out. I hope you keep fighting, and I hope you keep improving.